Alright, developer log for May 2025. So a whole bunch of new interesting stuff to show. So first of all, 3 new enemies. I mean, technically speaking, 1 new enemy with 4 variants, which I consider like 1 enemy. I don't really consider like small variants enemies. We have the drone, a new flying enemy, and then we also have the Nyx Cloaker, which is a invisible enemy that basically becomes slightly more visible when she gets close to you. These enemies, minus the drone and the cloaker, have been actually in the game for a very long time. It's just now that they... I'm currently working on level 7, and in level 7 they're actually used. Level 7 will be their first appearance, so even though their assets have been in the game for a very long time, I finally finalized a lot of stuff. For example, they never had voice lines, they now have voice lines. Now I don't have a female voice actor, I'm also not going to bother trying to do female voices. Yes, I have tried it with some modulation and it sounded awful. So I basically just purposed of like the big audio pack that I have. I pretty much just creatively used a lot of the random female voice lines that there were, and it's very repetitive. They're pretty much just placeholder, but they do have at least some voice lines that I can use for development. But I do eventually need a female voice actor to voice these. Same actually goes for the main character. Main character is actually also part of the Nyx Assassin group, but has sort of gone around. That's the whole lore story that I'm not really going to go into. But yeah, new enemies, the Cloaker and the Nyx Drone I'm very happy with, and these are, I mean, they're just more human enemies with weapons, but the Sharpshooter is a bit more interesting. So I will be showcasing the Cloaker first. Let's double check if I have Cloaker here. Yeah, Cloaker. So Cloaker can basically do 2 things. She can hit you with your melee weapon, but she can also throw a smoke bomb. So as she gets closer to you, she becomes more visible. The level 7 is pretty dark. It's one of the darkest levels, and that really helps with hiding. Like, she doesn't really hide very well in the sunlight because of the reflections in the refraction material, but it works. So she does also have a bit of glowing elements. It doesn't make sense since she is supposed to be a stealth enemy, but if she is completely black, you just can't see her if she approaches you. So yeah. So if you hit her, she will throw that... I got owned. Restart. So if you hit her, she will actually throw a smoke bomb down. For some reason this button has issues. So there, smoke bomb. And then the enemy basically just teleports to a different location and shit. So this time she teleported like away from you, but sometimes she just teleports behind you. So every time when she throws a smoke, you really just have to do a 360 of like, where did she go? I mean, you can hear her, you can just hear her footsteps. Ah, she's stuck. How embarrassing. So yeah, sometimes the teleporting attack, it's technically an attack. The teleport is not completely foolproof yet. She sometimes teleports into... It doesn't happen that often, it's unfortunate that it just happened now during the showcase, of course, but sometimes she teleports inside of geometry and gets stuck. So yeah, I have to get some safeguard against that. So then there is also the drone, which I'm also going to have to talk about extensively later on. And that's all it does. It only has 1 attack. It has this large barrage of energy attacks. They're pretty slow moving projectiles. You can dodge them. They do 25 damage, so if you get hit by 4, you're dead. There are 2 side by side, so if you're unlucky, you take 50 damage in one go. So yeah, that's the drone. I will be talking about the drone more. But I'm finally also going to talk about the Sharpshooter. I'm blind. Oh, that's the trigger. Yeah, I am blind. So, no, that's it. Sharpshooter. No, the Sharpshooter is a bit more of a fair... So I want enemies to be more fair. I think enemies are often very unfair, and I want them to have better telegraph. So yeah, you can already saw what I did. The Sharpshooter is often placed far away, but she will have a laser beam. Very deadly accurate. So whenever you see that laser beam, you are gonna have to find cover. So that's basically how you can tell that she's aiming at you if you see that laser beam. Probably have to recolor it to purple because her night vision is purple, so it makes more sense if that is also purple. So yeah, before I'm gonna further explain the Nix drone, I'm going to showcase the new barrel. So I have new barrel, a new barrel mesh. I can actually show it better if I just quickly stop. So this is the new barrel mesh. It's the more sci-fi barrel design, because originally, I still actually have the old one. Usually when I replace something I remove the old one, but I now still have the old barrels. This is the old industrial barrel, but obviously since the game is sci-fi, it didn't really make that much sense. It also didn't mesh well with like some of the other assets. So these are like the random space crate assets that I've made, and yes, these are also new. The assets are not new, but the recolors are new. I'll showcase that quickly after the barrels situation. So with the new barrel, I also had to of course make new textures for the explosive barrels, and there are now 3 types of explosive barrels. So previously there was only the normal explosive barrel, and now I've split it into 3 different types of explosives, and there are actually interesting things about them. Well, let's start with the boring one. This is the normal explosive barrel. It's orange. It corresponds correctly with the color code of the weapon. So orange weapons are explosive weapons, so this is just normal explosive. So it beeps a bit and then it explodes. That's how you get a little bit of a warning that it's about to explode. Next up we have the energy barrel. So the energy barrel does not, so it shocks you when it explodes, but it also shocks you when you get close to it if it is waiting to explode. So you get slightly shocked by it if you are standing close to it. If you do more damage to it, it explodes faster. So cool new effects. It's based off the energy bow. So if you have never seen the energy bow, I will quickly show it. It basically just shares the same type of attack. So the energy bow also has the same type of like area of effect stun. It's the exact same effect. Actually also immediately going to grab the fire grenades, because the logic for the fire explosive, now I don't have a weapon to detonate it with. It does the same thing as the fire grenade. So when the fire barrel explodes, it spawns fire on the ground. So if you stand on it, it will burn you. And I quickly, oh no. It doesn't set you on fire. I think I did that because that would be just too annoying to also have to set you on fire. So it uses the same effect as the fire grenade. So boom. Yeah, this is still work in progress, these fire effects. You actually see that I have these debug squares to better showcase the area of effect, because the VFX is not good enough to showcase that, so that's why debug squares are used. Final explosion, boom, and boom. So yeah, the new barrel textures and the new explosive barrels. I will go back to some of the old levels and mix and match some of the barrels. I mean, integral part of shooter game design barrels. You gotta get your barrels right. So also showing the new textures. I mean, new textures. So few new texture sets for other levels. So this is for example for level 1, the biolabs. This is for the second level, engineering. That's for level 6. That was the, I mean, I can say what the levels are. It's not that big of a spoiler. Yeah, these are for the mine shafts and the mining area, the exploitation division. And these are for level 7, which are actually a botanical area, which, yes, there are now also plants and stuff in the game. I'm not going to showcase it because otherwise it's going to take too long, but yeah. Pretty much everything, these two are also new, and then all this is also new. But enough about that. Barrels and storage crates aren't, I think, that interesting to talk about. So now, go up to the final and most interesting thing to talk about, and that is the new things I had to do for flying enemies. So flyer navigation nav. Well, the name already spoils it. I had to get flyer navigation working. So flyers in the game never had navigation. They basically just blindly charged you and they would constantly get stuck. I did have one safeguard where the flyer would always try, if the flyer lost sight of you, it would try and go back to the last position where it still had sight of you, so it wouldn't get stuck, and that worked for a large part. But now here in level 7 with the new Nix drones, flying enemies work fine in large open maps. As a matter of fact, it would actually work mostly fine on this test map that I've made, the old flyer code. But yeah, the flyers, I really needed navigation meshes for flyers, so that's now what I have. So I'll just delete this again and turn back this. So these things here usually floating. These are the new nav points that I've made. And if I just Ctrl A and select everything, you can see this navigation. So this is a completely custom navigation asset. This is not from Unreal. This is completely something I've made myself. And it allows you to have a nav mesh for flyers. It wasn't as difficult to make as you might think. I finished it within a day, and the largest part of that day was figuring out one single bug that I just had a really hard time figuring out. So when I place a new nav node in the level, it will automatically connect to other nav nodes. Like I don't have to manually connect these nodes up. It will just automatically connect to the closest nav node and make the web of navigation for the flyer. So now I will naturally showcase it. So let's remember. So one of them is for a hunter AI, which will constantly try and hunt you down, and the other one is for a more passive AI, which won't actively hunt you down. This is the hunter, so this is good. So yeah, it used the nav mesh to correctly fly up through the hole, because there's a nav link there, and it's now chasing me. Now, so yeah, I can also go back in here. So it doesn't have nav meshes in here, so it will have to go through this hole here. If I go in here, you can see. There we go. Look at that. Now sometimes it does get a little bit stuck. There is still some issues with braking, where the AI tends to overshoot its position, and sometimes it gets stuck by that. Thankfully, it's not happening, but generally speaking, when something embarrassing I don't want to happen, it usually happens during Devlogs. So yeah, the AI drone can correctly and properly follow me around the map. Great. So I have one more difficult showcase. So one of the more interesting thing about flyer enemies, that flying enemies can of course take alternate routes to get to you. So let's say I go in here, and this might be tricky. So the AI can't follow me through this doorway, it's too small, but it does know an alternate route, and oh thank god it is working. Of course it's working, I programmed it. Everything I programmed works. So yeah, it now correctly figured out a navigation route under the level to get to here. So it's actually really cool. Like there we go, it goes back down because it knows it has to go through this hole here to get back to me. And oh, it's so good. I'm so happy with it. It's a really big upside. I'm definitely also going to implement in the old levels, because in some of the old levels you could actually lose some flying enemies because they didn't have the ability to chase you. But now they can, and it's just... I'm so happy. Oh, look at it. Knows how to navigate around this. Correctly chases me down. Look at that. I'm so proud of it. Talk as if like it's like, and like it doesn't have intelligence. I know it's intelligence. I've designed you. This is not a good weapon for this. We're now in the wrong level. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to show. Is it? Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, new enemies, new flying enemy, a new navigation system for flying enemies. Level 7 is getting along really well. Yeah, the progress is good. I guess I'll show you very quickly like the stuff. So yeah, the level 7 is pretty much just an indoor botanical garden. So I needed some plants. I wasn't gonna make plants myself. Like I generally don't really like using asset packs. But for plants, like I'm not gonna make plants myself. So, and plants are also so ambiguous of a thing that I don't really mind that being an asset. So I just quickly get something before we shut down. So here's a nice tree. So they actually like gently wave in the wind. It's a very nice pack. I am going to reduce the texture size. This rainforest pack is 4 GB large, which now basically constitutes 1/4 of the entire size of the game. So, and that's mostly because it's all 4K textures. So I'm going to downgrade it to 2K textures because I don't need 4K textures. But yeah, a whole cool new indoor forest biome that you can explore in level 7. I'm not going to show it because I don't show levels in the devlogs, only like little assets and then like node. And that really is about it. So, see you next month.